One of the most important questions that has to be answered after someone passes away is what assets are going to have to go through probate. And that is a really important question, and it's really just based on how each asset is titled. Hi, I'm Michigan Probate and Estate Planning Attorney Julie Paquette, and today I want to walk through what assets have to go through probate and what assets do not. And again, it's just based on how something is titled or owned. And although I'm going to try to make this easy to explain, this is actually a difficult concept for a lot of people to understand. So don't get frustrated if you don't quite follow along, but hopefully you will get a couple things out of this explanation. So again, it really depends on how the asset is titled. If an asset is owned in one person's name, in an individual's name alone, that likely is going to have to go through probate. So for some basic examples like real estate, if you purchased a home and then you did not work with an attorney or didn't do anything about the title after that initial purchase, you probably own that home in your individual name. And if you were to pass away while you own that and you haven't done anything, any planning to avoid probate, that would be an asset that very likely is going to go through probate. So your home, other real estate like investment real estate or vacation home or anything like that, that likely would have to go through probate without proper planning. The other big things are accounts, bank accounts, savings, checkings, investment accounts, stuff like that, that does not have a beneficiary designation set up on it, doesn't have any payable by death, payable on death instructions or anything like that. Those also may have to go through probate, very likely would have to go through probate to be transferred at your death. So again, it's just if you own property in your individual name alone, that may very well have to go through probate. So what does not go through probate? If you have a beneficiary designation, so all of your liquid assets, accounts, all of those things where you can name a beneficiary on there, those things most likely will not have to go through probate if you have a valid beneficiary at your death. Property that's held by a trust. Again, this has to be properly funded into the trust. The trust is not going to go out and grab that stuff and put it into the trust. But if you've transferred property into the trust, either before your death or if it automatically transfers at your death, that would likely avoid probate. Also, jointly owned property. Now, we caution against holding property with joint owners. The main exception often is married couples. But if you own something jointly and one joint owner passes away, it automatically is just owned by the other owner. So that doesn't have to go through probate, but that can throw a wrench into things. If you've added somebody on for your convenience or something like that, and you didn't actually intend for them to receive that property, but it would avoid probate. Although that also does sometimes trigger litigation because, like I said, if you weren't intending for that person to be an owner, that could create problems in the family and then start a fight. And then ladybird deeds. We love talking about ladybird deeds here. It's a great tool. It's a probate avoidance tool. It's basically like a beneficiary designation on real estate. So that is a great way to avoid probate, and that way you can have property transfer automatically at your death, either to an individual or a couple individuals or into a trust. And again, all of those are ways of avoiding probate. So it's really important to understand how that works. In reality, most estates actually end up with a combination of probate assets and non-probate assets. But it's really important that you know how your assets are titled and whether they are likely to go through probate or they're going to avoid probate. And if you are dealing with this, if you're handling a probate estate right now and you're not sure, or if you would like to get the planning done and to avoid stress, delays, save money, and all the benefits of having the planning done ahead of time, we'd be happy to talk with you. If you want to contact us and set up a consultation, we can help you out.